first piece of functionality that we're looking to demonstrate for this playable is the memories GUI and the memory item interaction and collection of a memory. In the bottom left you can see an empty memory reel. There are 6 slots, one specific to a particular memory, and currently there is a system for dynamically masking the graphic representation of a memory within that reel. So at the moment the player inventory has no memories, there are no memories held, and that is represented by a mask of the entire reel. And what we'll see is in a second when we collect a memory, that mask will be reconstructed so as to show a graphical icon or to represent the collected memory. There is also a collection animation that will play that we can demonstrate if you could select that memory there, Gavin. So as you can see, there is a spawned UI element that is, or GUI element that is travelling from the world position in which the memory is collected to the allotted slot on the memory reel, and that is deleted when the mask is able to show the underlying memory that is then the representative to the player that the memory is currently held. If Gavin were to select the memory further, there would be nothing happening because there is a check to make sure that once there is a memory obtained that it will not continue to attempt to collect it. What has been demonstrated just there is the unravelling of the GUI, where a mouse hover will rotate the reel and a film strip will come out. There is the same functionality for the masking of an icon does not exist for the reel at the moment, or the slided at the moment, but if you can look at the bottom left where the memory previously was, you'll see that there is now an empty slot, because that is part one of an intended effect where it should seem that the memory held in the reel is being unravelled and and slides out and extends with the actual reel representation. Now the other piece of functionality is the implementation of the selection of a memory in that strip, and if a particular memory visual was to be clicked with a mouse, the section would be determined and the corresponding memory would be played. In this instance, Gavin has picked up the record player memory, which is the first sound that we have implemented and the only audio that we have in place at the moment. And so if Gavin would like to click the first memory, then we can hear the audio play.
Okay, so that was the first that's the first memory audio that we've got in the game, the first iteration of that. And as you can see, the other sections, because we haven't collected any other memories, those don't play anything. So yeah, so we've also got these finalized idle character assets showing all the sort of idle states. We're still waiting on the walking one, so we're using a previous iteration for that. We're also got the monsters in the scene. These are the easy monsters that simply slow the player down and pull them towards the player, or pull the player towards them. As this is the first sort of easier section of the game, the first game loop. If we continue along here, we'll come across a door to the next loop. What we'd like to have is fade to black and fade back in as the player continues to walk down the corridor, and that's how they'll change from the first loop to the second loop. But for right now, we have a door, as we've not implemented that yet. So this is where you'd come out on the other side of fading out and fading back in, and this would be the child section and since we don't have a asset for the child, we're using the adult again. But because this is the child section, the monsters become more challenging. As you can see here, if I come to the monster in this room, it moves towards the player, and if you get too close, it spawns the player back at the start of that loop, and they'll try again. One thing that we'd like to implement is that we haven't managed to do yet is monsters being able to take a memory from you from that loop. So that's the main objective of the game, is to collect the memories. That adds a more important sense of threat of the monsters, as you'd have to go back to collect it again. And right now we're using a placeholder background just to show basically what the game would look like when it's being played. And yes, that's everything we'd like to show.